back, and we are bringing them to you all summer long. Come grab yours at KFAN events throughout the summer and wherever you see our KFAN street team. Then make sure to redeem them at Mall of America for fun prizes and big discounts. See full list of events at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Do you think the program director was being sincere or sarcastic when he said, boy, that was a great segment? That's how he said it. Boy, that was a great segment.
He's super uplifting, isn't he?
I said, you're the one that told me Vikings always win. We talked Vikings quarterback. We talked Vikings safety. We talked Vikings center. We talked Vikings. He said, yeah, but then at the end he said, well, I just want to get to the end of the segment. I can make my lunch. Well, yeah, I need the nutrition. I need the sustenance.
The listeners respect that you don't lie to them.
Yes, that's exactly right. I had another member of the media who just recently announced his retirement, who said he thinks I have the most honest show on the radio. And it's true, I do.
Huh?
Well, it's true. Don't try to pretend we're something we're not. A high school dropout. Fourth in the north. Well, that's where we lie. Matter of fact, Chad Abbott, by the way, closed circuit to the Power Trip Morning Show.
Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear.
You're not the only show that's report card was in the 20s. It's just true. So anyway, time for 534 now here on the Fan.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Brought to you by Willow River Company.
Before I move on, you see the guy who just hit the ball?
Yeah.
It says P.I. period Coody, C-O-O-D-Y.
Yeah.
Are there more than one Coody in this tournament? Why is there a P.I.? Why does he have the second initial there?
Private Eye is watching you. They see your every move. That's creepy. That's sort of like every breath you take or watch or walk. Watch or walk, by the way, I did have several people with the correct answer. Some people had the wrong answer. That's from Tom Petty's Here Comes My Girl.
Oh.
Here comes my girl. And then he goes, talks about how wonderful she is. And he goes, it's one of those where he's talking in the song. And he goes, you work hard all day and nothing ever seems to come from it. But then when he gets home to his girl, he knows why he continues to press on. Well, the P.I., I don't know. You're right. I don't know why it's P.I.
So his name is Pearson.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, is there another Coody? How is there another Coody in there where you'd have
I think his grandfather.
Another P. Coody.
His grandfather was Charles Coody, I think. Or maybe I'm making it up as I go along. Does it say anywhere in there like his granddad was Charles Coody or his uncle or great aunt?
I just got to leave it down. We'll move on to the question.
Oh, I'll look up Coody while you go on.
Question number 1. It's time now for What's Your Rank? A 10 hut!
NFL execs, coaches, and scouts rank the top wide receivers for 2026 at ESPN.com. And
Radio.
They ranked Jamar Chase number 1. From the Vikings, Justin Jefferson at number 2, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 3, Puka Nacua at 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 5, CeeDee Lamb at 6, his teammate George Pickens at 7, Nico Collins 8, A.J. Brown 9, and then Devontae Adams rounds up the top 10. Common, do you agree with these wide receiver rankings?
Pearson has a twin brother, Parker, who is 37 minutes older. Both are third-generation professional golfers. Their father, Kyle, played collegiately at the University of Texas and on the Asian Tour and Nike Tour in the 90s. And their grandfather, Charles, played on the PGA Tour and won 3 times, including the 71 Masters.
Wow.
I know my golf. I'm the official and unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf.
So is Parker in this tournament?
It doesn't say if he's a pro golfer. But maybe that's why they would have to do it. You're right. Why do they have to say P.I. Coody? We know there's another Molinari that plays golf. The one that's winning is Francisco, or not winning, but he's at -3. He's 2 out of the lead. He's the guy I picked.
There's another Fitzpatrick. His brother plays.
Correct. And then there's the Hoygaard twins. who also, their grandfather started a ski shop here in the Twin Cities, Hoygards. Were you aware of that? I don't think a lot of people, I know everything about everything. What was it, Jefferson?
NFL wide receiver rankings.
Where do they have him?
JJ was number 2. These are coming from execs, scouts.
Oh, okay.
Coaches, etc.
Well, as a receiver, you're only as good as your quarterback, really, to be honest. And we haven't had, last year or two, we haven't had much at quarterback play. So it's hard to, after watching him on the receiving end of Kirk Cousins' passes and Sammy Darnold, I don't think all of a sudden, well, he just doesn't know how to play anymore. So I would say that's probably pretty accurate. Did you say who they had number 1? Is it Chase?
Jamar Chase at number 1.
Where do they have my guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Number 5.
Yeah.
So Jackson Smith and Jigba 3, Puka Nacua 4.
It's hard to argue with those numbers.
Yeah.
It is. I think that's probably
I can't argue with these rankings at all.
No.
I was wondering if Jefferson was going to drop a bit after last year's performance.
Yeah. But like I say, I think what they're saying is they're taking into consideration his performance. His numbers last year went down, not because of him. It's because guy can't, they don't have a quarterback that's talented enough to, sit back there and play quarterback like you're supposed to play. They've had some issues there. So,
question number 2. It's time now to take a peek at the pitch.
Argentina pulled off another
Where'd
dramatic.
You get the sound effect, and what does that mean?
Just the sound in the background.
Yeah,
I wanted soccer sound effects,
okay,
and that's not really easy to do. So that was kind of like a soccer themed song that popped up when I was searching for sound effects. Okay. So it's kind of like the chanting they always do. Yeah, and the drums. Yeah,
you could have
it's the best I could do.
You know how you have we have the one where we have the football one where it's like blue 42, and then all of a sudden you hear fumble, right? We could have just went flop. I'm sorry.
Argentina pulled off another dramatic comeback with 2 goals in the closing minutes in a 2-1 win over England yesterday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Enzo Fernandez leveled the score in the 85th minute, and then Lionel Messi, who assisted on the first goal, he sent a cross to the far post, which was headed in by Lautaro Martinez in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. So it'll be Spain versus Argentina Sunday at 2 p.m. in the World Cup final. Common, your thoughts on yesterday's game, and will you watch on Sunday?
I was told, by sources I trust, Deuce, that the England coach got just obliterated because they went into a shell after they got 1-0. They just decided they went into defensive mode. Afterwards, he blamed it on, what did he say? He blamed it on strategy of the players or their technical or something. He kind of wanted to push it on the players, but most people say they got the lead and decided we're just going to try to milk it. We're going to try to run the clock. It's sort of like in football which I just hate. I'm talking about pro football, NFL, where a team gets the lead and they have the ball, and then they run 3 times instead of trying to, let's pass for a first down and end the game. Well, we don't want the clock to stop, because if we don't get our first down, they're going to have more time on the clock. Well, so take your chance. Don't you have any faith in your offense at all? And I think more teams are starting to throw the ball on 3rd down than they used to, even on 1st and 2nd. When you got it by the jugular, snap it. Suck the blood out of him. Just not only suck the blood out of him, gnaw on the bones, chew the marrow, just suck the marrow out of the bones. End it. And instead of being aggressive, they went in. And Deuce said here there were fans in England saying it was a fireable offense. He should be fired. He should be fired, that his time has expired. And I do again, it's a fine line, especially when you're the guy making the call. It's like you said, Tenby, it's easy when you're sitting on your couch, right? But when you're not sitting on your couch and you're actually the guy in charge making those decisions, it's a tough one. But I still think I would almost in every occasion, I would opt to stay aggressive. Just play how you've been playing, because that's how you got the 1-0 lead. Maybe he didn't want the 2-goal lead because it's the most dangerous league in all sports. There's that. I hadn't thought of that. See, it's very confusing. Maybe the guy should be given a raise. Off the end of the Golden Boot. Who won the Golden Boot? Is that decided yet?
Well, we still have a ship to go through, I think.
Yeah. Are we still tied for the Golden Boot? Last I saw, we were tied for Golden Boot. And one of the Golden Boot guys is out because that was the France guy. So he can't win Golden Boot if, I think, is it Messi and Mbappe? Maybe Gubi. They were the ones that were tied for the Golden Boot. They should have had that in boot hockey. That's a great award, the Golden Boot. I love it. Then,
according to AI, it looks like they're both at both at 8. So obviously Messi can beat that.
Yeah. Well, let me guess. The FIFA will fix that too.
They play a third place game.
Oh yeah, they do.
So France is still going to. They play England in the third place match.
Where's that game being played at?
Don't know.
Because if it's like in Kansas City, it's 100 degrees. How hard do you think those players are going to try?
What if it's somewhere where there's smoke?
Yeah, well, that's at third place. I mean, who? Really? Why bother?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Question number 3. It's time now for a look at the Lynx.
The Lynx beat the Los Angeles Sparks 96-87 yesterday at Target Center. Olivia Miles, who had 18 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, appeared to roll her left ankle with 6:03 to play. She was helped off the court with trainers, though she was able to walk herself into the tunnel. Cheryl Reeve had no update on Miles after the game. Common, how would the Lynx fare if Olivia Miles had to miss some time?
Well, I know what they should do. Dirt Robitussin. Get back out there and play. That's all you need to do. I think they're talented without her, but she's the club. She's sort of the heartbeat, right? Heart,
without
soul,
Fee,
the whole thing. Yeah, without Fee. I mean, she's the gal, so.
She's the engine.
There's no question. So, I mean, they'll probably not be quite as good. I don't think that's really going on with them, but who knows? You know, sometimes, and it's like, let's circle the wagons. Our best player's out. We really got to dig down deep, so maybe they'll be just fine. But, yeah, I think, let's just hope it's nothing too serious. And you said she was able to walk off on her own power after the game?
She was helped up by trainers, but, yeah, she ended up walking back.
Yeah.
She ended up walking back to the bench.
Okay.
And said she didn't play the rest of the game.
Right.
But.
Yeah, you know, put some ice on it, Robitussin, dirt, the whole thing. She should be fine. But yeah, it would be certainly it'd be it's like any team. Take the best player off the team, and how are you going to fare? Take Anthony Edwards off the Wolves. What's going to happen? I mean, she's the Anthony Edwards of the Lynx. So, I'm not saying position, but you know, she's kind of she makes it. She's the straw that stirs the drink.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Legendary one, Rosie, is waiting. Do you think that with an artificial knee, you know, when you'd go to a clinic and they'd say, you know, cross your legs, and then they would take that little rubber hammer and hit your knee to test your reflexes? With an artificial knee, you have no reflexes, right? Now, that would be my guess. I'll ask Rosen if he has any reflexes in his knee. When he
Do you think he can still backpedal as well as he used to?
Well, that's going to be a problem. He's going to have issues with that, I think. But you know, he's Rosie, and he's stronger now at 75 than he was at 45. So my guess is he'll still be able to figure out a way to do it. He'll join us just before 2. Right now, though. Oh, by the way, 534 was brought to you by our friends at Willow River Company. They're your outdoor living experts, and they do it all for you. I've told you, whatever, if it's anything that has to do with the yard care, including trees, over 10 arbors, those are pro tree people. Well, everybody's for trees, I think, except that apparently not at Royal Birkdale. There's not a tree in sight. But we're all pro tree, and if you have trees and you think they might need a little tender loving care, a little TLC, they'll come over and they'll give you an evaluation for free. Everybody wants something for free, and they'll do all your other yard work. They're a family-owned operation. They treat everybody like family. Come join the family. Willow River Company, your outdoor living experts at willowrivercompany.com. Kennedy's got a keyword.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword green at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is green. Enter now at KFAN.com.
The Common Man.
This Sunday, watch with us and Nordo at Boardwalk Kitchen and Bar as a World Cup champion is crowned. Well, the finals match on, tons of games and prizes, and of course, great drink specials. The party starts at 1 p.m. We'll see you this Sunday at Boardwalk Kitchen and Bar in Shakopee.
What's the name of the place again?
Boardwalk Kitchen and Bar.
When you say tons, what does that mean? There's tons of games and prizes. I mean,
just the messenger.
Yeah, that sounds good. Overhype, underdeliver. What we've done here at the Fan.
Maybe tons of games on the TV.
Maybe that's what it is. You're right. Tons of games on the TV. Guys, this is how bad it is. I just came up with a time killer for the next segment. Before I dug into something much deeper, and I forgot what that time killer was now. No! Oh, I know what it is. So I'm watching the Open Championship. Somebody named Suber.
Who?
He should get an endorsement with Subaru. Subaru. He's at -5.
He's playing super.
He's playing Subaru. Im is at -4, as is Danny Brown. And then DeChambeau, Morikawa, Young, Dietrich, McIntyre, Molinari, Smalley, all at -3. Rory McIlroy at +2. Looks like right now, who selected McIntyre yesterday in their power trip? Somebody took him third.
It was right. It was like sixth. It was like right after Rosenspick.
Okay. Because had I been participating, I would be right in the hunt.
Was it Marnie who took that?
Maybe it was. I would be right in the hunt with Cove. You said Cove always takes Morikawa, and then I ripped it. I said Morikawa's not going to win. He's got no chance. He's right there, and he's still out on the golf course.
Yeah, Marnie took Robert McIntyre 7th.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a battle. But you know what I noticed, Tenneby? It seems to me when a pro golfer misses a putt, it seems to be more times than not they are short. Like just moments ago, Oberg had, 20, 25 foot, 30 foot birdie putt, right? Dead straight on. He had read it perfectly. It ended up just short. And I see that more times than not. It's like, I remember Sir Nick Faldo. Not only did he say that he doesn't like DeChambeau the way he tries to, what did he call it? Overpower the course? No. What did he say? Attack it. You need to be strategic, of course. Mm-hmm. DeChambeau, you played the soundbite. It was classic. DeChambeau, and described his round, said, I thought it was very strategic today. I used my strategy, went over and over and over with it. The other thing Nick Faldo once said, Tenneby, and I use this on a go. You probably heard me say it on a golf course. It's like, I'd rather go 6 feet by than 3 feet short because I'll just ram it in from 6 feet by. And I always wonder why the pro guys are. I know now Ben Crenshaw used to believe, and Ben Crenshaw was considered one of the greatest golfers with a putter in his hand of anybody that's ever played the game. I don't know if he's number one, but he's considered amongst the top 2 or 3, right? He always believed that your putt should travel so that it just gets to the lip and falls in.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody can do that. I mean, that your sense of speed on the green and your ability to control that putter head has got to be pretty superb to do that. And I guess in a perfect world, that's what you'd want. But I miss him short. I'm not saying I'm immune from it. I putt better than 75. Saturday, I putted better than 95% of the players on tour. Last couple of days, I putt better than 1% of the putters on tour, but that's another story for another day. But I don't know why more players don't miss going by. Give it a chance to go in. Or what am I missing?
I mean, I'm probably the last person who should be speaking on putting. And when I miss, it's typically short. But my only problem with the putt at 6 feet by and you can ram it back in on the way back, the problem is the further you go past the hole, you're narrowing the hole, right? Like you're not giving it any chance of it to hit this. If you're burning the edges, it's going by.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't give it any chance to fall in the harder you hit it.
Oh yeah. Maybe you should be the official, unofficial.
So that's why I've never been someone who tries to hit it 3 feet past the hole.
Yeah.
And I leave it shorter because of it. But if you're going to go hard past the hole, then you have to, put it in the center of the cup.
Yeah, you do have to be dead center cut. That's for sure. I mean, you have to, because you're right, you won't get those ones that fall in. They never fall in for me anyways. So anyway. They don't make as big a deal about the schedule release in the NHL as they do in the NFL, do they? But it has been released.
Well, they are starting to do the videos that all the NFL teams do. Yeah.
Okay. Wild was
like the Wild today did it with the Felinos, the brothers and their dad.
Oh, okay.
They're on a road trip.
The Wild will start the season Thursday at Nashville on October 1st. Their home opener 2 nights later, October 3rd against Boston at Grand Casino Arena. And I miss this. I've not paid as close attention to the NHL as I once did, if I ever did. The regular season is being expanded by 2 games.
2 more games, yes.
That's a great idea.
That's why they're starting a little earlier than they normally do.
I don't know why they don't just add like 10 more games. Why don't we get to 100? It's all money. And, I suppose the players would say, well, if adding 2 more games increases my salary by whatever, because you would hope that's what
and the cap is going up.
Yeah, and the cap is going up.
2 years in a row here.
And that's probably why they figure, it's just simple math, right? Checks and balances, balance in a checkbook. More games you play, the more revenue you're going to generate at the gate. Aside from playing each Eastern Conference twice, once at home and once on the road, the Wild will face off against their Central Division rivals 4 times and have 3 games versus the remaining Western Conference teams. Central Division was a 3-team race last season with Rado, Dallas, and the Wild, and those 2 teams remain the Wild's biggest competition for a division title. I tend to agree with that. Would you tend to be anybody else in the West you think could be in their division? In that division?
I mean, obviously Colorado, Dallas. I do think Utah is going to be a team on the rise.
Okay.
They made the playoffs last year. They acquired Vincent Trocheck this summer. They went out in free agency and got a guy the Wild were interested in. That would be Anders Lee. And they already had a good, talented young core. So I think Utah is going to be a little scarier.
Circle this one on the calendar. It's going to be November 27th. They host the Lanch, first rematch of last season's second-round playoff series. Then the 2 teams won't meet again until late in the second half.
That'll be the Black Friday game, November 27th.
When Black Friday comes. And the 2 teams won't meet again until late in the second half, including twice. I'm reading from the Fish Wrap Factory West Side. Including twice in the final week of the regular season.
That's kind of weird.
The Wild are at Colorado on March 17. They take on the Lanch in St. Paul on April 4th, and then are back in Denver for the regular season finale April 10th. Do you think they do that because it's sort of like, in baseball, for instance, the Twins will play, I think, quite a few games against their brethren from the Central. And, the NFL, your last game's always going to be against the Vikings are going to play Chicago, Detroit, or Green Bay, it seems like, without a doubt. Are they doing that maybe? Because they figure, those 2 teams are going to be in it. Might be.
Well, those 2 teams will both be playing their AHL rosters as they're resting up for the playoffs.
Well, what if they're battling for...
Well, if you are battling, for first in the division.
I guess that would be the only reason. The Wild will also have to wait to play the Stars, who the Wild knocked out of the first round of the playoffs. Their games against Dallas are Jan 30 at home, Feb 16 on the road, March 3rd on the road, and then on April 2nd back at home. Early division games are versus Winnipeg on the road October 13th, Utah October 27th on the road, and November 25th at home. So,
a lot of road games the first 2 months of the season. That's going to be the story. Is in October, 10 of their 15 games are on the road. In November, 9 of their 14 games are on the road.
Weren't we really good on the road last year?
They were last year.
So maybe that will repeat itself. Maybe Lightning can strike twice. Not the Tampa Bay Lightning, but just maybe Lightning can strike twice in the same spot. We'll take a break. We'll come back. One more segment to go before we welcome Mark Rosen into the conversation. I'm sure he's had a keen eye locked in on the 154th playing of the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale. Rosen will join us then here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
The radio home of Minnesota sports is also on YouTube. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials, and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
Park this morning show, yoga pants, brass, so funny. Taking over Treasure Island, up at Detroit Lakes, World Series of Poker, Target, Athletic Socks, Home Alone 3 and Blu-ray DVD. It's also good. How can you not like it? I think we all do. So this is a story that now, when I first saw it, was 7 minutes old, Tennessee. So this is breaking news as it happens. About 10 minutes old now. Dateline New York. If LeBron James knows where he will be playing this coming season, he's still not saying. The NBA's career scoring king and current free agent spoke publicly for the first time in weeks this afternoon, though stopped short of revealing which team he'll choose to play for this fall. Despite at least one cry from someone in a jam-packed room shouting for him to pick a team, shoot, pick a team, shoot, mashed potatoes, Baba Louie. I heard earlier today yabba dabba doo from someone in the gallery at the Open Championship. I mean, that one's so old, I heard it when I fell off my pet dinosaur, Dino, in an episode of the Flintstones.
I still like the one on your hole-in-one where someone yelled, hooty hoo!
Hooty hoo, yeah, remember that? James did say, it's going to be fun wherever I land. Four-time NBA champ was recording an episode of his Mind the Game podcast alongside with guest co-host Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers in New York on the opening day of Fanatics Fest, a 4-day event featuring dozens of athletes, celebrities, and sports legends. Is that anything like Tap Fest, do you think? Or Exotica? Exotica, triple X Exotica. Oh, there's that echo.
Yeah, there's back.
I guess that's when you get really close to the microphone and hold your hand over it. And then there's a I think what I'm determined is, and I got a third degree telegraph and FCC telegraph and teleoper. Yeah, it's a license that says I can fix stuff. The screen is metal. And I think when you push it really close, when I cup my hands, when I do the Metallica, I think that's when it does. It's a Norman BCM 104. It's a 4-day event featuring dozens of athletes, celebrities, and sports legends. Single-day general admission tickets were sold out. Organizers saying it's likely that many of those patrons, do they have to call them patrons there too, like they do at Augusta? Or do I call them basketball rubes? That's what I call them. Or members of to be a little more formal, members of the basketball community.
What about hoop heads?
That's good too.
Yeah.
There were at least several hundred there, phones out to capture the moment, hoping to hear James' next decision. Not yet, he said. Here's what he said. There's no decision. Oh, be still, my beating heart. Thursday's appearance had been planned for months. It was announced publicly in May. James playfully chided Halliburton for asking him about his future. Didn't we talk about this in the back? James asked, and Halliburton said he'd leave it alone. Of course, they didn't leave it alone. James made reference to a slew of teams such as Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia, Golden State, and no, didn't even mention Minnesota. No mention of the. Could that be to really throw people off the trail? That he has decided it's Minnesota, but he's not saying it, so it'll be more of a surprise? Because those are the 4 he mentioned. He did sip from a bottle of red wine he opened and shared with Halliburton, calling it one of his podcast traditions. Wine, Napa Valley, is Golden State as close to Napa Valley as Detroit is to the UP? Maybe that's a hint for the little red wine. Yeah. UB40 did a song called Red, Red Wine.
I remember that one.
That's actually a cover, though. They did a cover.
Sure.
I think it might have been Neil Diamond. And when fans shouted out suggestions for James's next team, one even asked him to play for the New York Yankees. Isn't that funny? Play for the Yankees. No clues were forthcoming. We'll see, he said. We'll see. So yeah, nothing. He also has an appearance at the Game Plan Summit, an invitation-only event presented by CNBC in the boardroom. James is slated to have a conversation with boardroom co-founder Rich Kleiman, that's Kevin Durant's longtime business partner, about how he's built an empire beyond basketball, what's ahead for him in business, and why the next generation of athletes is poised to wield more influence than ever before. I would assume his biggest advice would be, I say this all the time, Ted. It'd be $100 million. That's really only $50 million after taxes. Then you're going to buy your mom a house, you're going to buy a car, you're going to spend, save, invest, use, flaunt. It's really about $50 million at the end of the day. And can you make that last? He basically just said at the very end, I'm looking forward to what comes next as I wind down my journey. Now, it did say the paragraph before that, the final paragraph of the story says, Cleveland and Miami are believed to be on James' radar again as he weighs his decision, as are several other teams, including Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Golden State. Minnesota is mentioned there again, but today he did not say Minnesota. But again, maybe he's just slipped his mind or he's winging it, or maybe
throwing us off the scent.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what he's doing too. So that it is a major surprise when he does make that announcement. But
wouldn't you find it hard to believe that he doesn't have a decision made? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, it's not. It shouldn't take you this much time.
Well, I don't.
So there has to be just other factors here.
I think he's milking it. He likes
of course.
the attention. You've heard me do this bit before, and I think it's true. Let's say you're any of the major names in sports, right? You pick the sport. Basketball would be your LeBrons, your Currys, your Wembanyamas. You can even put Ant in that category. Football, and there's dozens, right? Baseball. So let's say you're watching Sports Center and you're sitting with your buddies and you're LeBron James. You go, watch me change the lead story at ESPN in like about 1 minute, and then all of a sudden you text out, a lot of smoke in Minneapolis, and where there's smoke, there's fire. ... Adam Shep, no, he's football. Who are your breaking news guys in the NBA? Shams
Charania, yeah.
Who else? We got them locally, probably. Krasinski. I mean, they're all within 1 minute. They're going, oh, LeBron just mentioned Minneapolis and the smoke, and there's fire. He's coming to Minneapolis, and that would change the lead story at ESPN. He has that kind of power. Same thing in football. Kelsey would just go, watch this. Taylor and I aren't getting along as well as we did at one time. Oh, the marriage is over. They're about to get a divorce. Now, he wouldn't, but I'm just saying they can control the narrative that easily. It's just because everybody is so obsessed with these people and the idolization and pedestalization, like DeChambeau today. When he did the old, he became a lead story in golf after Faldo had criticized his approach to the Open Championships in trying to attack the golf course. He needs to be more, strategic. And then after he shot a 300, they asked me, and he had obviously heard Faldo. And he said, it's just more strategic. And he said strategic like 13, 14 times. So, in other words, DeChambeau changed kind of the narrative of the story of the day. Not only that he played well, but that he was chiding and poking back at DeChambeau. And that's what these guys can do, especially now with social media, where it's at their fingertips. They can control everything. And so, and I think they get a kick out of it. So LeBron knows that he's in that position more so than anybody right now, because that is the one, that's probably of all the stories out there right now, that's the one that everyone's waiting to find out, because it will, again, once he makes the decision, then all the stories, let's say he picks Golden State. Then the stories become him and Steph, and then all of a sudden they'll start doing it. When was the last time two veterans like that ever got together? And their chances, they each have 4 titles, right? Steph 4, is he more than 4? They're both trying to get their 5th together. They're trying to get one for the thumb together. And then the disappointment in the other cities, and the reaction this and the reaction that, and that'll go on for days and weeks. And then once training camp gets ready to go, then it'll be how are they playing together. And it's like he controls the narrative of sports right now. I guess, because even World Cup, I guess that's about over now. That'll be the lead story after, is it tomorrow or is it today? Tomorrow they play, right? No, Sunday they play. And, they don't play off of one day off. Yeah, that's right.
Multiple days off.
You got to have multiple days off because that's just the way it works. So that will be so that's the latest on LeBron James, which really isn't anything. And we just killed half a segment with it. Now there was...
I don't think this is going to happen with LeBron because, he's a billionaire. Mm-hmm. But one of these years, you're going to have someone holding out for a long time, basically so they can profit off the sports betting market of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like right now, there's multiple markets where you can bet where's LeBron going to land. And you can pick Golden State for whatever dollars. And they're setting up different spots across the country to profit off of what team they're going to end up choosing.
It might even be happening now. We don't even know it.
Like I said, LeBron's got a lot more to lose. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for LeBron. But, I mean, we've heard the stories in the last couple of years of these guys fixing games, and they're multi-millionaires doing this.
There could be somebody who has already done it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I don't think you're that far off the mark on that. Saw this story, Joe Christensen, Fish Wrap Factory, West Side. Tennessee, you play. Are you coaching baseball or just watching baseball?
I've stopped coaching baseball since I do hockey all the time.
But you were coaching baseball. Minnesota high school baseball coaches brace for new bat regulations beginning in 2028. Now it's a couple of years off. High school baseball players can swing lighter bats that are just as long. A recently passed national rule will give high school baseball players the option, starting in 2028, to swing a lighter bat that is just as long and maybe as potent as what they're using now. Some Minnesota baseball coaches were surprised to learn about the rule change, saying the current bat spec rule had been working well. Some voiced safety concerns and all mentioned cost concerns at a time when many bat models are selling for $500.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, I know the price of sports is your whole life, just sports has gone up. We talk all the time about it. I think the first sport to really bring attention to cost was hockey, right? I mean, you've got the equipment itself. You got your skates, your sticks, your pads, everything, right? And then, I think teams is part of what you pay because of ice rental, because you got to rent ice.
Ice is expensive.
Yeah. And then, I after I became a basketball dad, I said, well, wait a minute now, time out. What do you think it's like when you get to AAU? And my boy did, when he was playing for Sizzle, I think one season he had 4 out-of-state tournaments. And they weren't drivable. Fly to Dallas, fly to Denver, fly to Atlanta, and fly to Indianapolis. You think that those prices don't start to add up after a while?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Flights, rental cars, room, board, the whole thing. If you would have said how much a baseball bat costs, I never would have guessed $500. Never in a million. Now, that's probably not every bat, but even that a bat could be priced at that. Does it swing itself? Does it cork on demand? I mean, how could a bat be that? What are they doing? Of course, you could say the same about golf clubs. You go out and buy a set of golf clubs, you might have to take out a second mortgage.
Well, there's hockey skates over $1,000.
Oh, come on.
No.
Per skate or for the pair?
For the pair, yeah.
Oh, that's different. Thank God they're not $2,000. So $1,000? No, what makes them, is it?
I can't even pretend to know.
Is it the name?
And in fact, I refuse to have my kids get the highest level of skates.
Do you think you're paying more for an Apple computer than you are a Lenovo? I'm being serious. What is?
I'm sure there's different costs for different computers. Yeah,
but are you paying for the name Apple? Bauer. Are the Bauer skates more? That's the only name I know. CCM and Bauer. Are there more than that now?
Oh yeah, there's more, but
yeah. Have you ever tried to sell used golf skates on
used hockey skates?
Yeah. Have you ever tried to sell your skates, your used skates on
well, my feet stopped growing, so I don't have to do that. But when your kids basically need new skates every year because their feet keep growing. I mean, I have smaller size skates in my basement as we speak that they've grown out of.
Here's what I'll tell you. Used, flawed. I don't mind a used car, or they say they're very careful how they word it in the automotive industry, previously owned. Because used sounds, that's used. That's okay with me. Previously owned home. My first was a starter home, new construction. I bought a previously owned home. I was the third owner. So some things I don't mind getting secondhand. I just don't want to wear somebody else's shoes.
No, I'm with you.
I don't want to wear their skates. Certainly not their underwear. That's a deal breaker right there. But I guess
we have done hand-me-downs on the skates.
Yeah, well,
because
inside your family, absolutely. And and that's not that's not to say that's not a good bargain. There are families that would struggle to buy new. That's part of the problem. That's why, like a Youth on Course, Minnesota Golf Association, they've come up with that $5 a round for kids 18 years of age or younger. That 150 participating golf courses. Now that's subsidized in several different ways because the golf course can't take a complete bath on that. But that's a great price because golf, as we know, is as expensive as any of them. When you put equipment together, green fees, cart rentals, whatever it is that it is, that's as pricey as any of the sports. And so, Champlain Park coach Ryan Tom was quoted. He said, "I didn't think it was much of an issue. Will it help some kids? Yeah. Is it going to be another cost in a sport that's already super expensive? Yes." The National Federation of High School Associations announced July the new bat spec allowances were coming. A 32-inch bat that weighs 29 ounces, for example, is called a drop 3. I didn't know they had technical words, phrases for them. So what kind of bat you got? I got a drop 3. Maybe you drop 3 points in your batting average. I don't know. Marking the difference between the length and weight, a 32-inch, 28-ounce bat would be a drop 4, and so on. The current NFHS rule specifies that a bat can't have a weight drop of more than 3 ounces, so a common drop 3. So a drop 3 is commonly used bat for high schoolers, but beginning in 2028, players can also swing a drop 4, drop 5, or a drop 6. USA Baseball President John Gall explained the benefits for player development. He says, "We have seen too many athletes entering high school and baseball struggle with the immediate jump to drop 3 weight and then walk away from the game. This rule change creates flexibility for players to continue building strength, refining mechanics, and developing bat speed over time before making the jump." Bloomington Kennedy baseball coach George Walker said he didn't think the drop 3 rule was a problem. He also called himself old school, saying he'd be happy if the players were still swinging wood bats. He says it will be interesting to see if change in the drop weight has any real effect on the numbers. The other thing I think about is if a big kid is using a drop 6, that could lead to a dangerous exit velocity. So in other words, the lighter the bat, the quicker he can swing and the more power he has. Would that be it, or is it the heavier the bat? I would think it'd be the lighter the bat.
Lighter the bat, yeah. But I would think the heavier the bat, the more of a pop you're going to get off the bat.
Yeah. I just remember when I was a kid, you'd go to the store, and I don't even think we had like sporting goods stores. You would just go to department store, go to the sporting goods department, right? And there was a golf, back then, same thing, marketing. There was a Wilson golf club. I think it was Wilson, not Rawlings. Wilson said Willie Horton on it. Willie Horton was a left fielder for the Detroit Tigers. Gotta have that. I want to get that glove. I gotta get that glove because of Willie Horton. So it didn't even matter to me if the glove was the right glove for me to fit right. I had to have the Willie Horton glove, and I got it. And then I also got an Al Kaline bat. Now the Al Kaline bat was big. It was like for probably an adult, or at least a teenager, right? And I'm like 6, 7 years old. This thing was like, when I'd go up to the plate with it, I'd have to drag it up there. It was so heavy. And then I would swing it up like this. And Kennedy Park guy's brother, Tom Yell, who was a longtime reporter, he worked for the Coon Rapids Herald. He was my pony baseball coach. And he just loved the fact that I had this. The bat was bigger than I was. But I had to have it because I said Al Kaline, who was my favorite player. I still have a shrine. I've got some rubidity. I've mentioned this before. I've got a little Al Kaline shrine down in my man grotto. Autographed photo of Al. I didn't get it. I don't remember where I got it. What I'm saying, I didn't get it on my own. I didn't go up to Al Kaline. Hey, would you sign this? And then there's I have 3 Al Kaline baseball cards. And then from the Dark Star Estate, I have a autographed baseball from Al Kaline. But as Al Kaline was my hero, he was my favorite athlete, and he was my baseball player. I was a Tigers fan, and there I had the bat. So Kennedy Park guy's brother, Tom, my coach, he had this idea. He loved it so much. And he said, great sense of humor. He goes, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to bat you cleanup today. And when you get up there, I want you to crouch down like this. So like I'm almost like I'm trying to sit down, right? So my butt's right above the ground. Because he goes, so now the pitcher is going to try to throw a strike. He's going to just throw a little lob. And I want you to stand up and hit it. So I go up there. I crouch. This is during the game. This is so cool. I crouch way down, and the pitcher does what he said. He just threw a little tiny, almost like here, right? Like if you're throwing the ball to a little, like a baby, right? If you're throwing the ball here, catch this.
Yeah.
I stood up. Of course, the bat was so heavy. I swung it, missed. I probably spun around like about 3 times. Like
I always love that one.
I ended up striking out, and that was the end of the. That was the end of the experiment of me batting fourth and crouching down. I think it was also the end of me playing that bat in a game. And one time, this is how sad it was because we had no money in the family. So wooden bats eventually break, right? So it broke at the handle, not completely snapped off. I took little tiny nails with a little hammer and I tried to nail it back so that it would fix it. Because that was my Al Kaline bat. It didn't work. Some rube sent me an Al Kaline autographed bat that I have down in my basement. He said, because I think I've recanted this tale before. I must have, because I got one in the mail and said, here, I have this Al Kaline bat. It's all yours. I feel bad for you. So there you go. Let's take a break. When we do, the legendary one, Mark Rosen, is standing. Well, he's probably not standing by. He's probably sitting because he's had the knee surgery.
He's lounging by.
He's lounging by. We'll ask him how the recovery is going. He doesn't like to talk about it much. He's really not,
He's kind of a closed book.
Yeah, he is really. Yeah, it's hard to get anything out of him about himself, but we'll see if he'll make an exception when he joins us next here on the Common Man program on the Fan.